Repressed memories is the latest fad among therapists. Their unorthodox methodology is used to revive memories of childhood incest in order to explain away adult problems. Thousands of women who have made allegations of sexual abuse against their parents as a result of recovered memories may have been victims of a dangerous fad. Their memories may have been created through suggestion and invasive therapy techniques, especially if there is no corroborating evidence of abuse. The results are often devastating to the patient's family, who may not only lose contact with their child, but can be civilly sued or criminally charged for acts that they did not commit. Starting in the late 1980s, the mental health profession embraced a new miracle cure called repressed memory therapy. These less than well-trained therapists claim that the majority of American women had been molested as children and that most of them had repressed the memories of these acts. They believed that it is the molestation and its repression that is key to the emotional and physical ills of these patients. They recommend that when the therapist enables a patient to recover these memories of abuse, the patient can then overcome her problems. Advocates of these ideas have written books and articles and speak at self-help conferences and actively encourage these questionable and unprofessional techniques for the recovery of childhood memories of sexual abuse. As a result of this repressed memory therapy, thousands of women who previously had no memories or suspicion of abuse before, came to believe that they were victims of molestation. The abusers are the patient's own fathers, mothers, brothers, uncles, or other relatives and friends. Almost 20% of these women have also recovered memories of satanic ritual abuse and all of its horrors, including baby sacrifices, murder, multi-generational abuse, and mutilation. Some have even reported memories of abuse in past lives and during space alien abductions. This is true. They have made these reports. Writers and therapists who advocate repressed memory therapy cloak themselves in scientific rhetoric and misuse legitimate psychological concerns in order to give their beliefs credibility. Repression, disassociation, post-traumatic stress disorder, multiple personality disorder, and a pseudo-scientific phenomenon called body memories are all part of the grab bag of terms that they use to convince patients that they show symptoms of abuse even if they have no memory of such acts ever occurring. Proponents of repressed memory therapy claim that memory acts like a video camera. It records a person's experience, even those in the womb, so indelibly that later experience or interpretation cannot change these images. They consider these internal video memories factual and pristine. This is the basis for the movement, and any technique used in therapy to gain access to these pictures is seen as justifiable. Advocates ignore the possibility that their techniques not only distort memories, but actually create pseudo-memories as well. Typically, repressed memory therapy encompasses several stages. In the first stage, the therapist employs a list of symptoms that are used as proof that there are repressed memories of childhood sexual abuse. These symptoms number in the hundreds and include such things as headaches, vaginal infections, sleep disturbance, stomachache, dizziness, eating disorders, fear of eating foods such as a banana or tapioca pudding, problems in maintaining stable relationship, a penchant for wearing baggy clothes, obesity, depression, or low self-esteem. Among these thousands of alleged symptoms, it is a rare individual who has not displayed or experienced some of these symptoms during his or her life. Yet proponents of repressed memory movement acknowledge only one cause: repressed memories of childhood sexual abuse. Well, The next phase of therapy is designed to convince the patient that she was abused whether or not she can remember it. She is told that only by believing in the sexual abuse and recovering the memories of abuse can she heal. Most patients who enter therapy are emotionally vulnerable, and so the therapist, in a position of authority and trust, can easily accomplish this indoctrination. Should the client be reluctant to believe in the abuse, the therapist explains that she is in denial and can use pop psychology books like The Courage to Heal, a guide for women survivors of childhood sexual abuse, to support their theories of repressed memories. Authors of this book, Ellen Bass and Laura Davis, wrote, quote, "If you think you were abused and your life shows the symptoms, then you were. And if you don't remember your abuse, you're not alone. Many don't have memories. This doesn't mean they weren't abused." Close quote. In another such book, Secret Survivors, Uncovering Incest and Its After Effects in Women, E. Sue Bloom supports Bass and Davis when she states that, quote, "Incest is easily the single greatest underlying reason why women seek therapy or other treatment," close quote. She goes on to say, quote, "Many, if not most, incest survivors do not know that the abuse has even occurred," close quote. It is important to keep in mind that there is no scientifically proven list of typical symptoms of sexual abuse. Symptoms displayed by actual abuse victims are the kind of symptoms that can also result from other emotional or physical trauma, such as a divorce, moving, illness in the family, accidents, loss of a family member, new marriages, even changes of employment. But it seems that the repressed memory folks don't understand this. Once the patient is convinced that her problem can be cured by remembering the childhood abuse, the third phase begins. The patient is encouraged to uncover molestation experiences by imagination or hypnotic trance. Some repressed memory therapists even use sodium pentothal as a truth serum in an effort to verify memories recovered during hypnosis. Other highly questionable methods incorporated into this therapy are guided imagery, age regression, inner child work, relaxation therapy, channeling, trance writing, rebirthing, and even crystal reading. Therapists often place patients in incest survivor support groups where new victims are surrounded by other women who have either recovered their own abuse memories or in the process of recovering them. There, the patient is encouraged and sometimes even pressured by group members to remember and verbally describe incidents of sexual abuse. The final step in repressed memory healing is designed to enable the patient to believe in any and all recovered memories. Again, if the patients are reluctant or doubt the details of their so-called memories, therapists can call on publications like The Courage to Heal, The Courage to Heal Workbook, or Secret Survivors, where incest survivors are taught how to believe their flashbacks, body memories, recollections of abuse, no matter how bizarre the details may be. These patients are told that there is no need for corroboration or proof because what is recalled is highly accurate and unalterable. Their memories, they are told, act like videotapes of their lives. These therapists remove themselves from the professional responsibility of examining statements or looking for corroboration by explaining that they are neither the police nor investigators. They say they are merely facilitators to help women become whole and healthy. Once patients believe in the recovered memories, they're told that it is then possible to begin the healing process. Patients are encouraged to sever their relationship with the abuser and any family member or friend who does not believe in the allegation. There are other support groups to attend that often incorporate primal screen therapy or physical violence to help work out the anger that the patients feel about their recovered memories. These patients are often told that they may sue the alleged abuser in order to gain control of their lives, and with this act become survivors. Now, how do other members of the mental health community and law enforcement regard this new method? First of all, many point to the troubling disregard for scientific research that is available to all mental health professionals. Dr. Richard Offshee, professor at the University of California at Berkeley and a nationally recognized expert in suggestibility and brainwashing techniques, writes, quote, "Even if well-intentioned, the therapists in this movement are like the physicians who once bled patients in order to cure them. But unlike those physicians who were limited by the primitive state of medical knowledge of their time, the reporters and promoters of repressed memory therapy ignore reliable research, misuse their authority and techniques, and damage the lives of their clients and their clients' families." Close quote. The best example of the movement's unwillingness to use scientific and verifiable findings is its perception of memory, the cornerstone of their philosophy and therapy techniques. While proponents believe that memory records experiences accurately and cannot be corrupted or changed later in life, the overwhelming fact is that memory is indeed malleable, and false memories can be easily implanted. That conclusion came after over 100 years of research and experience by mental health professionals. Perhaps the best proof of how memory can be manipulated is revealed in a study done by Elizabeth Loftus, preeminent scholar on the subject. She points out to over 20 years of research that clearly shows that one's recall of events can be easily influenced by fictitious descriptive details, inserted characters, and fictional plot elaborations. To prove this, Dr. Loftus's researchers enlisted the brother of a 14-year-old boy named Chris. The older brother wrote a short account of Chris having been lost in a nearby mall when he was 5 and then found by an older man. It was an event that never happened. It was mixed in with several events which did happen. After reviewing these notes of his supposed history, Chris, within 2 days of reading the brief narrative, said that he remembered being afraid that he would never see his family again. 2 days after that, he remembered the man's flannel shirt, a conversation with him, and eventually remembered that the man was bald and wore glasses. Even after being told that the event never happened, Chris clung to his beliefs. He was so positive that he had been lost in the mall that he even remembered his mother coming up and telling him to never do that again. Dr. Loftus and others have replicated this kind of study again and again on adolescents, adults, and senior citizens. All easily are induced to believe in false memories. This body of research has been borne out repeatedly in other studies and countless hours of scientific research. This research into the malleability of human memory is accepted by the leading mental health professionals and professional organizations throughout the United States. The California Therapist, a magazine for the Association of Marriage, Family, and Child Counselors, has stated, quote, "Some therapists contribute to the problem of recovered memories by, among other things, inappropriately helping patients remember sexual and other abuse, sometimes satanic ritual abuse, when it may never have happened. One must exercise caution when utilizing hypnosis and repressed memory therapy and related cases because of the power of suggestion under hypnosis." Close quote. The Board of Trustees of the American Psychiatric Association has warned that, quote, "It is not known how to distinguish with complete accuracy memories based upon true events from those derived from other sources. Memories also can be significantly influenced by a trusted person, i.e. therapist or parent involved in a child custody dispute, who suggest abuse as an explanation for symptoms, problems, despite initial lack of memory of such abuse. it has been shown that repeated questioning may lead individuals to report memories of events that never occurred. Close quote. The board continued by saying that corroborating evidence is necessary for an accurate assessment of sexual abuse, and that psychiatrists should maintain a neutral stance towards reported memories of such abuse. In light of reputable research and the admonition of nationally recognized scholars, researchers, and professional organizations, it is difficult to understand the reason that some mental health professionals continue to believe in a highly suspect kind of therapy and use techniques that have been described as damaging. One answer is suggested by Kenneth Lanning at the Behavioral Science Unit at the FBI Academy in Quantico. He wrote, quote, "Therapists are probably in the best position to influence the allegation of adult survivors. The accuracy and reliability of the account of adult survivors who have been hypnotized during therapy is certainly open to question. Satanic and other occult crimes and ritual abuse of children has become a growth industry. Speaking fees, books, video and audio tapes, prevention materials, television and radio appearances all bring egotistic and financial reward." Close quote. The implication of repressed memory therapy is frightening. Left in its wake are thousands of family members who have been and who are currently being sued for alleged molestation of daughters, sisters, nieces, and grandchildren. This movement has divided families and in some cases has even led to criminal prosecution. For those children who were actually abused, this therapy diverts time, attention, and money from legitimate programs and projects. True incidents of abuse are being diluted by a chorus of insecure adults who claim they too are victims. As a result, each year, thousands of children die from neglect or abuse or suffer from molestation. For mental health practitioners as a whole, such therapy brings into question the ethical duty and integrity of the entire profession. Dr. Paul McHugh, chair of the psychiatry department, Johns Hopkins University, summed up such implications for his field when he wrote, "To treat for repressed memories without an effort at external validation is malpractice, pure and simple. Malpractice on the basis of the standard of care that is developed out of our history of psychiatric services, and malpractice because of the misdirection of therapy will injure the patient and the family." Close quote. Then why does this type of therapy continue? It is because mental health professions do not appropriately sanction their members. They do not hold these repressed memory therapists accountable for their actions. Margaret Singer, who is recently deceased, is a nationally known research psychologist who urged patients to exercise their own rights when therapists practice suggestive and invasive techniques of recovered memory. Only when irresponsible therapists are sued for the abuse of their patients and their patient's family will this dangerous fad end. Margaret Singer has written that, quote, "Perhaps the most serious danger is that true accusations of child sexual abuse will be trivialized or discredited. As the nationally known social psychologist Carol Tavris put it, quote, "The reality of victimization of children is diluted by a chorus of insecure adults clamoring that they are victims too," close quote. In our office, we have seen countless number of innocent families falsely accused because of repressed memory therapy. For this reason, we are grateful for our professional relationship with Dr. Loftus, Professor Singer, Dr. Tavris, and other scientifically based mental health professionals in our work to help our clients. Repressed memory therapy, thousands of women who previously had no memories or suspicion of abuse before, came to believe that they were victims of molestation. The abusers are the patient's own fathers, mothers, brothers, uncles, or other relatives and friends. Almost 20% of these women have also recovered. Profession embraced a new miracle cure called repressed memory therapy. These less than well-trained therapists claim that the majority of American women had been molested as children and that most of them had repressed the memories of these acts. They believed that it is the molestation and its repression that is key to the emotional and physical ills of these patients. They recommend that when the therapist enables a patient to recover these memories of abuse, the patient can then overcome her problems. Advocates of these ideas have written books and articles and speak at self-help conferences and actively encourage these questionable and unprofessional techniques for the recovery of childhood memories of sexual abuse. As a result of this, their memories may have been created through suggestion and invasive therapy techniques, especially if there is no corroborating evidence of abuse. The results are often devastating to the patient's family, who may not only lose contact with their child, but can be civilly sued or criminally charged for acts that they did not commit. Starting in the late 1980s, the mental health repressed memories is the latest fad among therapists. Their unorthodox methodology is used to revive memories of childhood incest in order to explain away adult problems. Thousands of women who have made allegations of sexual abuse against their parents as a result of recovered memories may have been victims of a dangerous fad